is Kendall. So the orphanage told me that I was born in 1996. I was adopted in 97 in the Hefei-Anhui Providence, but I don't know if that was where I was found or where I was actually born. Everything is kind of just going off of the information the orphanage gave me, which was very limited.
My name is Kara. I was born in 1994 and I was adopted May 1995 from Suzhou.
My name is Leah Griffin. I was born in Luzhou, Guangxi, China.
So in my family, mom and dad, and then I am a middle child who has an adopted older sister from China and a younger adopted sister from China.
I am the only child in my family, which it's been a blessing and a curse. As I've gotten older, I've wished for siblings, actually.
My adoptive parents are both Caucasian. They're, my dad, it was his second marriage and my mom's first. The reason why they adopted me was that they were told that they were just too old to have kids of their own.
As much as they tried to instill a pride in me of my heritage, I was in a very white area. I was the only Asian in my school all the way through. And so it was kind of ingrained in me to be ashamed of my Asian heritage. So I kind of had my family saying, no, try to be proud, and then the rest of the world saying, just shut it down.
When I was little, my parents did enroll my sister and I in Mandarin classes at a Methodist church that was, I believe it was in Winston-Salem, but that lasted for about less than a year due to just a lot of extracurricular activities.
I do wish that I had continued Chinese language courses when I was younger. I wish I was fluent. I really do.
You know, my parents specifically and my family were absolutely fantastic about, trying to address the fact that obviously I'm adopted, so I look different than everyone in the family. I have a completely different history and past, but that, I should be proud of it, and that I think sometimes my story did get lost in translation because the feelings that I would have about my adoption weren't always what sometimes even my parents, but especially people around me, thought that I should feel, and that I grappled with a lot.
I didn't have negative thoughts around being adopted. And it actually wasn't until a few years ago that I really realized that that was a thing, that you could have negative thoughts about being adopted, and that there are some adoptees who are not happy with the situation that they were placed in.
I did have the love. I felt like I belonged with my parents. The only times were when I was outside in the world that I felt like a little bit alienation.
And I learned this in therapy about myself. I didn't want to be seeing myself reflected back at me by seeing other Chinese Americans, especially knowing that we had the same origins as far as being in the same orphanage, being adopted in the same year, having that journey together. I didn't want a daily reminder of it, and I didn't want to realize how rejected and embarrassed I felt over the fact that I was adopted, and that I just couldn't melt into my family the way all of my friends could.
I knew about the policy change. I think it's just kind of an end of an era